So, again, if we go back to that really interesting time that I had back in May and June where Abby and I are sitting on the patio, I think we were having a beer. That's what we normally like to do. Just be real with you. And we're sitting on the back patio, and it's like, are we really going to do this? And it was like, this is going to be a thing, right? Like, we decided we were going to do it. And we had Mel confirmed. We had many of our sponsors confirmed. But we weren't on sale yet. And I, made the P&L, got everything ready, knew what it was going to cost, no problem. And there was just something missing. And the person that was missing is our next speaker. Because I read his book 2 years ago, year and a half ago, I forget, blew my mind, started stalking him on social media. And he's the marketing guy and the brain that I want to be when I grow up. And I figured as my gift to you, he had to be here. Because I will tell you, in a year, 6 months, 18 months, whatever it might be, we're going to look back on our first conference and say, can you believe we got that guy? I'm telling you, he's going to change baseball everywhere. Now, before I do the proper introduction, I'm telling you, he said he will not come up here unless we're loud, crazy, screaming, foaming at the mouth. Honestly, I think that might have been the exact quote. So we need a practice run for Jesse, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. That's good. That's really good. All right, I think I saw some foam. That was awesome. Okay, that's amazing. So shall we do it? Are you ready? Are we ready? Okay, I could not be more excited. Let's do it. Jesse Cole is the founder of Fans First Entertainment, owner of the Savannah Bananas, and the author of Find Your Yellow Tux. He has been welcomed to more than he's had 1 million fans to his ballpark, and he's been featured on MSNBC, CNN, ESPN multiple times. He's kind of a big deal. And once at his son's show and tell, which is kind of cool. He is passionate about standing out, creating attention, and creating an amazing customer experience. Now, we got to get loud. Are you ready? Please welcome to the Idea Collective stage, Go Bananas for Jesse Cole!
Thank you guys, you've been great. We'll see you later. Fired up to be with you guys today. Wow, great energy. Pat, really foaming at the mouth? I never once even thought about that. You guys are my people. I am so excited to be with you. Entrepreneurs, small business owners, you guys are crazy a little bit. You guys take risks. I like it. And taking a big risk, bringing a guy in a yellow tuxedo here. Let's give a round of applause for Pat Miller, everything he's put on. We know you're not completely right in the head, but the energy that you brought, and I'll tell you, I've done a lot of these, I've been fortunate to speak at these events. I don't see anyone that's put the effort and energy into promoting this event over there, making it great and successful. I'm passionate about standing out, and I'm going to share how you can stand out today. And obviously, this is not my only yellow tuxedo. In fact, I own 7 of these, and I'm probably the only returning customer ever at brightcoloredtuxedos.com, keeping them in business. But today, talking about standing out, how we can make a huge impact, how we can create fans over just chasing customers. That's what I'm passionate about. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, first of all, just to get a little gauge here, how many people have actually heard of the Savannah Bananas? Oh, wow, this is amazing. About 6 months ago, there was one person clapping in the back. It was my dad. So we've come a long way. But the reality is the Savannah Bananas really shouldn't exist today. We are the lowest level of baseball there is. You can't name any of our players. We have 0 corporate sponsors. We only sell 1 ticket. We play at a 1926 ballpark that was abandoned by every other team. We have no suites at our ballpark, no digital scoreboards. It's an old stadium. We shouldn't exist. But we were able to learn some lessons along the way on how to create fans that have come out to this old ballpark and made it something special. And so that today is where we're going to share. I'm going to share how you can create those fans. Now let's put a little context into the story about why the Savannah Bananas shouldn't exist. I'm going to go back 6 years ago. And my wife and I were running a team in small town Gastonia, North Carolina, and we were learning some things along the way. And we found this opportunity to buy an expansion team and go to Savannah, Georgia. We went to the ballpark the first time. There was professional baseball there. There was only 200 fans coming to the game. It was gross. It was nasty. We said, oh, this looks like an opportunity. So while our friends were buying iPads, we decided to buy a baseball team. And so we went down to Savannah, Georgia, and we convinced the city to let us come. And I remember that first day. It was myself, Emily, my wife, our 24-year-old president, and 3 22-year-olds straight out of college. What a crew we had. And we walk in, and the former team had cut the phone lines. They cut the internet lines. They took everything out of the ballpark. So we grabbed a picnic table from outside in the park and brought it into an abandoned storage building and said, all right, we're here. We're going to start calling the community, let them know we're here. We have this big vision of what we want to do with the Savannah Bananas. We were fired up. We were so excited. So we started calling people. And they were like, who are you guys? We are not interested in you at all. In fact, it got so bad that after 3 months, we only sold 2 total tickets. 2. It was like this gentleman. He gave us a donation. He goes, here you go, guys. Just take this. That's how bad it was. And on January 15th, 2016, I got the phone call that maybe you, as a small business owner, have got. And it was at 4:45, and our employee said, we're not going to make payroll. We're missing payroll. And at that point, we'd overdrafted our account. We were out of money. And Emily turned to me and said, Jesse, we have no other options. We have to sell our house. So at that point, we sold our dream house in Charlotte, North Carolina. We went down to Savannah, and we were trying to find, we had to be there. We had to be there with the team to make this work. And we found, and she was finding all these places, and it was like, we can't afford that, can't afford that, can't afford that. So she found this absolute dump, and I'll never forget it. I remember she said, Jesse, just kind of bear with it. And so I walked in, and I said, nope, 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 no way. So we bought it. And she got an air bed. It was a twin air bed, which wasn't a smart move either. And we started trying to say, hey, we got to make ends meet. We got to go all in. And so at that point, for 3 months in Savannah, we were marketing like everyone else, doing regular social media, doing radio, doing newspaper, trying to get people excited. But we didn't have attention. So what we decided, I said, all right, well, what are we going to name the team? And everyone said, you're going to be the Sailors or the Ports or the Anchors or the Specters or all these normal names. And then we saw one suggestion, it was the Bananas. We said, could we name the team after a fruit? And so we had this whole vision. We could have a senior citizen dance team called the Bananas. We could name our mascot Split. We could have, takes a second, we could have a male cheerleading team called the Mananas. But now they're just referred to as the Dad Bod Cheerleading Squad. And we had all these ideas, do music videos to Can't Stop the Peeling, to throw bananas from the top deck and people could catch them in their pants and called Banana in the Pants. We had all these ideas, and we were so excited. So we named the team. We were ready to go. February 25th, 2016, we named the team the Bananas. And the response? The owner should be thrown out of town. You guys are an embarrassment to the city. You'll never sell a ticket. Everyone locally ripped us apart. It was brutal. A year later, we actually did a mean tweet video of all those comments. Most of them ended up buying tickets, but that's a whole other story. People didn't know the week before we got our first shipment of t-shirts. Bananas was misspelled. There were too many N's. We actually misspelled our first shipment of t-shirts. It was an absolute disaster. But what happened on that February 25th, 2016, even though locally we were ripped apart, we were fortunate, it was on SportsCenter and ESPN, and they were like, oh, this is a fun name, and it created attention. And I believe before you get the hearts of their customers, you first have to get the eyes and the ears. And so we were fortunate to get the eyes and the ears. We created that attention, and all of a sudden we just had to get them to that first game. We had to get them to the first game because we had the idea of an experience. So that first game, it's pouring rain. Just brutal. The fans rush into the stadium. We don't know how to handle them. We do it all you can eat. I'll get to that in a little bit. That was a disaster. The team is wearing green uniforms because we're not quite ripe. And in fact, we weren't. We made 6 errors. We played terrible, but fans stayed. I remember at 9 o'clock when the game started because of the rain delay, I looked around and everyone had stayed. And then when they left and they saw the Bananas dance and they saw everything we put in the experience, they proceeded to tell everybody. And from that point on, we were so fortunate to sell out every single game. And now the wait list for tickets is over 10,000, and we just started our world tour where we're taking all over the country. But most importantly, my wife and I are sleeping on a real bed. Thank you. Thank you. So I go through that story of our misery just to prove a point here. There were 2 words that changed everything. 2 words. And it was fans first. That's the name of our company, Fans First Entertainment. We had this whole mindset that we can't go chasing customers. When we were chasing customers the first 6 months, we sold 2 total tickets. But as soon as we created a whole mindset of how do we create fans, everything changed. And that's the challenge for you today. Everyone talks about customers. I know we have a lot of B2B here. You talk about your clients, your partners. It's a different conversation between customers and fans. Customers, they're transactional. They come and go. But fans never leave. That's the big difference. I remember last year at a game, after the game, a gentleman and his wife and his 3 kids came to the game, and at the end of the night, we're thanking them. He goes, "Oh, thanks, that was so much fun." I go, "Oh, nice. Do you guys come into town for the game?" They go, "Yeah, we drove 40 hours from Utah for this game, and we're driving 40 hours back tomorrow." My mind is like, what is wrong with you? But that was an obligation. They thought that was worth it. They said it was everything we hoped it would be, 40 hours. We have some fans that spend 3 hours before every game shaping their beard like a banana and painting it yellow. It's bizarre. He's known as Banana Beard now. He takes more pictures with fans than I do. It's crazy. We have people that get tattoos over their bodies. We have someone that doesn't just have 1 tattoo, they have 3 bananas tattoos. That's way too many bananas tattoo on a body. But my point is they started creating fans, and this is what happens. I don't care, B2B, whatever, you're running a florist, you're marketing. What if people want to wear your shirt? They want to wear your gear because they're a fan. They want to scream from the mountaintops, "I love this company. I love this person." That's the difference. We were focusing so in the beginning on being normal. We were trying to fit in. And then we said, can we take it from normal to remarkable? Which the definition is, are people willing to remark about you? And you know what the next step after remarkable is? Unforgettable. How do you go from normal to remarkable to unforgettable? That's a game changer. And that's what I'm going to share today on how do you create an unforgettable experience. Right now, we're fortunate. We don't have to spend any money on marketing. We had to spend a lot in the beginning, and we failed. We spend 0 on marketing. We spend everything on the experience and everything on our fans. And that is the game changer. So are you guys with me today? Yeah. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm not your normal speaker, all right? Normal gets normal results. You guys have heard me say, whatever's normal, do the exact opposite. So this is going to be a show. This is not just going to be, hey, Jesse talking here. We're going to make it a little bit entertainment. We're going to have fun. We're going to get a little uncomfortable. We're going to get a little crazy, all right? Yes, oh, good enthusiasm right there. I like that, yes. We're going to get crazy. And so here's it. It's going to be a 5-inning show, and I'm going to talk about the 5 E's. The 5 E's to create these raving fans. And if we choose just one of them, we can transform our business. If you do all 5 of them, you'll change the game in your industry. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have 5 games, 5 promotions to lead into these points. The first one, you guys still with me? Yeah. All right. The first one is a game we like to play at the ballpark called the Sing-Off. We play 3 songs. When the song finishes, we finish those song lyrics, all right? So we're going to make it a little bit of a competition here. Get it going really loud this morning, all right? We're going to have the right side versus the left side. The middle, just sing, guys, just sing, all right? You'll be in the competition too. We'll have it all 3 sides, and we're going to see who wins, and this will go into our first E. This will prove our point to our first E. So Derek, let's get our first song. Finish that song lyric. Here we go. Turn it up, Derek. Turn it up. Here we go. When it stops, I want to hear you. Here we go. Oh, I can feel it over here. Here we go.
Pour some sugar on me. In the name of love, pour some sugar on me.
Oh, sir, you have won for this whole section right here. Well done. Well done. All right, next song, next song. Here we go. Yes, right over here. She hit the note. All right. All right. This is getting weird. I like all of this. All right. Here we go. Third song. Slow it down a little bit, but this is going to prove a point. Here we go. Wrong song, Derek. Here we go. All right, I want to see who's going to channel it. Who's going to channel? right there. Man, right there, you were awesome. She was going like this. I don't even know what this movement is. It was a lot of that. That was outstanding. All right, great job, guys. We all win. All right, the rules don't matter. Here we go. The third song there. Take a look at yourself and make that change. What I call the first E is eliminate friction. Eliminate friction, and the way you do it is you have a mirror moment. A mirror moment. We put ourselves in our customer's shoes, and we look at the industry we're in. What are the friction points? What are the frustration points for our customers? This is the starting point for all innovation. This is the starting point. You have to put yourself in the customer's shoes, and what are those friction points? I'm going to tell how it started for me. I never knew we had to have a mirror moment, but I remember vividly when I was 23 years old and I took over as a GM of the Gastonia Grizzlies. And the only way you get a job as a GM at 23 is it's the worst team in the entire country. So that's who I took over. And I remember that first day I found out there was only $268 in the bank account. We had 3 full-time employees. The team had only 200 fans coming to the game, and the team had lost over $100,000 the previous year. What a job I took right out of college. And so I started that first day, and I remember I made 10 phone calls to the community. I called business leaders and said, hey, I'm the new GM of the Gastonia Grizzlies. And 7 of the 10 people I called said, who are the Gastonia Grizzlies? The team had been there for 8 years. The next 2 calls said, oh, we'll never work with you guys. And the last call I got hung up on. That was my first day, great first day. And then finally I was able to get some meetings that week. And I had meetings with different people in the community. And the business leaders, some of the nonprofits. And everyone said the same thing over and over again. Our people aren't interested in coming to a baseball game. It's just too long, too slow, too boring. And an aha moment came right then. I go, the biggest friction point that we have in baseball is that it's too long, too slow, and too boring. But no one talks about it because everyone's like, oh, we'll go to a baseball game, it'll be fun. That was the friction point I heard over and over and over again. So remember, I called the owner of the team at the point. I said, Ken, we're no longer going to be a baseball team. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, well, our players should do choreographed dances. We'll have grandma beauty pageants. We'll give away porta-johns. It'll be a lot of fun. Luckily, he didn't fire me. He said, I guess we got nothing to lose. And I realized right then to ask that question, what business are you in, but what business are you really in? We were not in the baseball business. We were in the entertainment business. So it guided us on every decision that we made from that point on. And so we said, let's start trying things. Let's do one experiment. So the first thing I said is well, what if our players danced? And so it was an idea that I thought people would not think about us being a baseball team if our players danced. So I started telling everyone about it. I had no idea how we were going to do it. I just told everyone about it. And then finally, right before the first practice, I said, guys, before we practice, we're going to learn how to dance. And I brought a dance instructor in from the local dance studio. And these college baseball players looked at me like, what the heck is wrong with this guy? I remember one guy said, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm out. And the rest of the guys tried to dance for the next 30 minutes. I'll tell you, they were good ball players, terrible dancers. Terrible dancers. But we committed to it. We said, all right, we're going to be an entertainment business. We're not a baseball business. So the first game, I had the guys on the field, and they danced. They did a little bit of the jump on it like this, and it was kind of weird to watch, but they did it. The second night they did it, fans cheered more. By the third night, they're signing the most autographs. These are the most popular players. By the fourth night, I'll never forget, I'm walking through the grandstand, and a husband and wife are talking. And all of a sudden, I see the wife go, shut up, honey. They're about to dance. I was like, we're on to something. It was that little thing that we said, we're going to eliminate the friction there of make it fun, and that started everything. And we started doing everything based on the business that we should be in, not the business that everyone thinks we're in. It was because of that friction point, long, slow, and boring, people were responding to the fun. And we tried a lot of things that failed. Flatulence Fun Night? We thought giving away, what are they called? Whoopee cushions, yes. I don't believe I just did that. That's the weirdest thing. Never done that on stage before. I thought giving away whoopee cushions and having a bean burrito eating contest and a farting contest on the field would be good. The fans hated it, all right? A couple nights later, we tried Salute to Underwear Night. And we actually threw underwear in the crowd, and anyone who wore their underwear over their pants got a free giveaway. It was the most unfamily-friendly night we could ever do. No. But we tried testing things, so people started realizing that was the friction point. I'm going to go to the Grizzlies game, not just for baseball. I'm going to go to see what they will do next. What's the fun? What's the entertainment? What's the new thing? So that was the big friction point. We started attacking. And then from there on, we just kept attacking. You can have more than one mirror moment. So what are the other friction points in your industry right now if you put yourself in your customer's shoes? For us, I'll never forget, I went to a minor league game and I paid for a ticket. I paid my ticket fees and convenient fees, which are the most inconvenient fee there is. And then all of a sudden I paid my parking. I paid for a program. All of a sudden then I got a drink. I got a burger. At the end of the day, I was like, did I really at a minor league baseball game spend $80? And the answer was yes. I go, that's a friction point. A couple weeks later, my wife and I went on a cruise and I was like, whoa, all your food's included? All your entertainment's included? This sounds awesome. So we decided to make every ticket all-inclusive. For the Bananas, we said, what if we made every ticket include all your burgers, your hot dogs, your chicken sandwiches, your soda, your water, your popcorn, your dessert, everything for $15? We had no idea how to do it, but we said, let's try it. And so we announced it, and all of a sudden people said, that can't be true. And we did it. We did it. Except that first night, we didn't realize that 4,000 people would eat 10,000 pieces of meat in 1 hour. It took 3 hours for people to actually get to eat that first night. Literally, they showed up at 5:30. Some people didn't start eating till 8:30. It was the worst experience you could ever get. However, you have to get through the messy sometimes to get to the great. And so we saw the vision. Is it still a friction point that you get nickel and dimed at ballparks and arenas? Yes. We just hadn't figured it out yet. So we attacked it. And you keep attacking it from there on. And once you find those big friction points in your industry, you see them everywhere. You see every friction point there is. And that's why we kept going. That's why when Ticketmaster said, hey, it's going to cost you $1 fee for every single ticket, and we're going to charge another $5,000. I was like, we don't have any money. We can't pay. Wait, if we sell 100,000 tickets, we're going to pay over $100,000? We didn't have it. So we said, could we print our own tickets and have no fees? So we printed our own tickets, found this little upstart ticket company that hadn't worked with anyone, and said, hey, we just don't want fees. Can we just do a set thing and we print them all? He's like, yeah, sure. So we found a way around that. And so now there's no ticket fees, no convenient fees. And that little ticket upstart, last week we just acquired them. We bought them. All right? It's attacking friction. And so I think right now when you think about your business, you put yourself in the shoes, what are those little, it's like, oh, I worked with a car dealership and he said, you know, we're just going to have a contest with our company and say, let's stop doing all the things that our customers hate. I was like, with a car dealership, that's going to take a while. But that's the best business model in the world. Don't do what your customers hate. If you want to start creating fans, start there. And that has been this mission for us to keep attacking. The worst business decision we ever made was 2 weeks before the pandemic on February 25th, 2020. We said we're going to get rid of all of our ads. We're going to create the first ever ad-free ballpark because we don't think people wake up and they want to be sold to, marketed to, or advertised to. So we eliminated all the ads. 2 weeks later, we had the pandemic, and we've thrown away hundreds of thousands of dollars before a pandemic. It's the smartest move. But I'll tell you what happened. 3 years later, our fans have rewarded us, and we're doing triple the amount in merchandise that we did in sponsorship because we attacked an ad. People want to believe in who you are, what you stand for, and they want to know that you are true to who you are. If you want to be fans first, every move you have to make is fans first. So think about your company or different interactions you have with different businesses. What are those friction points? For instance, I don't want to give any names, but my bank, let's just call them Bank of Shamerica. Not your bank, my friend. I want to go out. You're good. You're good, my friend. I got you. That other bank, all right? All I want from a bank, a lot of times, is just to call and speak to someone. I want them to solve my problem. Dial 1 for this. Please put your account number for this. Your social security number for this. Are you an organ donor? Yes or no? What are you asking? And it takes forever. That's a friction point. There's a reason why Blockbuster is out of business. Think about all the friction points. You're going to drive somewhere, hope that they have the new release, which they probably don't. If you get a movie, then they will charge late fees for you. They attacked you with friction points. Blockbuster said, Netflix said, nope, you're going to get everything all-inclusive. And we're going to charge you one flat rate. What is that all-inclusive that you had for your experience? So that's the starting point with eliminating these friction points. And one of the best lessons I learned from one of my biggest mentors, Walt Disney, he used to stay at an apartment on Main Street at Disneyland. And what he did, that not many people know, he would go undercover, and he would walk the park. He would stand in line with the fans. Or with the guests, as he would call them. He would go on the rides. And he said a quote. He said, whenever I go on a ride, I'm always asking, what's wrong with this thing, and how can it be improved? When you go through your customer experience, your client experience, you ever ask, why are we doing that? That's a friction point. There's so many. So we go undercover at our ballpark every night. I take off the yellow tuxedo. Someone on our staff goes. We park with the fans. We walk with the fans. We sit in with the fans. We eat with the fans. And at the end of the night, we report all the friction points. The first time I did it 2 years ago, I had potholes. I walked in, my car bottomed out. And then I walked by and saw one of our parking penguins. I'll get to them. They were eating a burger with their back to me. Terrible friction points, but you don't realize it. There's so many little friction points in all of our businesses. If we just attack them, it's a game changer. From voicemails, please listen closely as your menu options have changed. What? Are there menu options changing every day all around the world? All right? What about hold music? Is your hold music very boring? Ours is ring, 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 banana phone. And literally every 2 weeks, someone calls and says, can you please put me on hold? It's the weirdest thing. And we changed our voicemail to that song by Camilo Cabello, and it's Savannah, na, na, na. You've reached the Savannah Bananas, na, na, na. Please leave your message after the... It's just having a little fun. Find out what the normal friction point is and take it to another level. And even invoices. Guys, do we all do invoices? Most of us, some form of invoices, all right? Every pay point is a pain point. Every pay point is a pain point. So how do you make it fun? We had terrible invoices for 5 years. Fire's like, all right, we got to write a new one. So we have an invoice when you get it. Congrats, this is your day. Today is the day you get to pay. You may think you've had days like this, the day you bought your first car, the day you bought your first house, the day you went on your first all-inclusive vacation, but nothing is quite like Bananas Payday. So pull out your savings bond, credit card, rare coins, Bitcoin, gold, cash, and make that payment like we know you can. This is your moment. Now seize it. Your life will never be the same. Love, Jesse Cole. All right? All right? We all have an opportunity to have fun with friction points. That is the starting point. All right, first E, eliminate friction. You guys ready for the next E? Here we go. All right, we're going to get up. We're going to stand up for this one. We're going to stand up, get in this one. The next E is entertain always. All right, we're going to really bring it here. All right, most teams have 7th inning stretches. We do this in the 4th inning. This is our tradition. All right, it's called Hey Baby, so everyone stand up. You're going to follow along. We're going to get the energy going. I've ever seen. You're just jumping. You're like, Lynn, that was awesome. Oh, I've never seen that. Wow. He needs a break now, obviously. All right, the second E to creating these raving fans, entertain always. I didn't realize, but the definition of entertain is to provide enjoyment, to provide amusement. Aren't we all in the entertainment business? I'm going to challenge you on that, Karen. I'm going to challenge you on that. I've never had someone yell out, no. That was really good. All right. The definition of entertain to provide enjoyment. We are all in the goal to provide enjoyment to our clients, to our customers, to our vendors, to create fans. And so when you entertain, you think of it, you're hosting a party at your house. You're hosting a party at your house. You're entertaining your guests as they come into your experience. So I'm going to share how we entertain. And yes, Karen, we take it to a whole nother level, all right? But there's ways that we can find those ways to entertain in a unique way. The key to entertaining always is to map the moments for your customer, client, and turn them into 10. Map the moments every step of the way. We were terrible at this in the beginning. We just thought we'd sell a ticket, they'd come to our game, and they'd enjoy it. And then we started saying, no, our mission, fans first, entertain always, we have to entertain every step of the way. So we started reimagining it. So when people first go to your website, what happens? How do you make them feel? How do you entertain them? Is it like everyone else? So for instance, when we realized when someone bought a ticket from us, when someone buys from you, fills out a contact form, what do they get first? What's that first response? For us, when they buy a ticket, they get a video sent to them. And I do a new one each year, but the one that I was a part of a few years ago, it begins with me sitting at my office, and it says, congrats, you just made the best decision of your day. Right now, as your ticket order came in, a high priority siren went off at our stadium, and our Bananiacs rushed to the ticket laboratory to get your tickets. And then a banana nana slowly walked in and hand-selected your tickets and placed them on a silk pillow. We raised the silk pillow up in the air and sang, na Savannah, na he, to celebrate the birth of a new fan. And then we walked your tickets all the way under the stadium in our vault where they're being watched by maximum security. They're ready for you to go bananas. People write back like, what is going on over there? But again, we're trying to go from normal to remarkable. They're remarking. Thousands of views on that. And then the next step, we said, could we call every fan that buys a ticket? That's crazy, but we said, could we try it? So we call every fan that buys a ticket and thank them for going bananas. We tell them where their tickets are and how they're set. We have to spread that out between our whole staff. This is unscalable. But if you want to create the remarkable, the unforgettable, sometimes you have to do the unscalable in the beginning. Right. And so we call everyone and thank them. And then the next piece, our ticket experience coordinator came up with the idea. He goes, what if we send them a playlist of music to listen to on the way to the game? Oh, yeah. I was like, I like that. So he sends them Can't Stop the Peeling. He sends them Holler Back Girl by Gwen Stefani, which this is Bananas, B-A-N. He sends Hey Baby. He sends all that. So people are getting primed and ready. What if you sent music before a client's about to meet you? Hey, this will get you ready for our meeting. All right? Depending on the music, that could be really intimidating, scary, or weird. So music, listen, and then when they show up at the stadium, the first thing they're supposed to see is our parking penguins. And yes, we have staff that's dressed up in full penguin costumes parking your car. Does it make sense? Of course not. But I thought the idea of people dressed up like penguins parking your car would be kind of funny. And so now those penguins actually pass out Freezy Pops to little kids and say, stay cool today. So it's those little touch points. So we just kept imagining. This didn't all happen at once. We said, all right, then what happens? Then could they see the players? Could the players be out at the gate, not on the field, but greeting the fans, signing autographs? Could they see our Banana Nanas dancing to Bruno Mars, Uptown Funk, or dancing some fun songs? Could they see our Banana Pep Band playing Final Countdown and Rocky music? Could our ticket takers be in full banana costumes, ripping your banana tickets that in the past have been scratch and sniff and smell like bananas? Can you go that far into it? And even a few years before COVID in 2019, we put out a note that said, we're going to hire a professional high-fiver to greet our fans. So we put out this big post, we're looking for a professional high-fiver. All your job is to high-five fans and we'll pay you. Nobody was interested. I know, until finally, the day before opening night, I'll never forget, a 6-year-old kid and his mother walk into our office, and the 6-year-old kid is high-fiving everybody, like boom, boom, in the office. I said, kid, you got the job. He goes, what job? And I was like, you're our professional high-fiver. And so we got him a jersey, and his name is High, and his number is 5. And his job is to high-five between 1,500 to 2,000 fans a night. Now, what's crazy is that we actually pay him, which is breaking every child labor law there is. We found a way. We pay his mother. But his goal is he goes around the ballpark and just high-fives people. And so he does need a snack break every 30 minutes for cotton candy and Snickers bars, but he does a great job. We invest in the experience. That was an investment in marketing. That was an investment in entertaining. Do you think people talk about the 6-year-old high-fiver? You got to come to the game. And so that's when you start thinking about entertaining. I think we're good. Then when you think about entertaining, that's what happens. And you keep going. Think about the parts in your experience that you neglect. Whether you do have an office or retail, the walls, the hallways, or those parts of your website that people don't go to, or the transitions in the relationship. So after they buy, then what happens? Those are the opportunities to entertain better than ever. Our 1926 ballpark is an old ballpark with old bathrooms. When we first came in, the guys' room had a horse trough, where if you guys know that, guys, everyone just pees all together, and it all goes the same place. It's the grossest thing I've ever seen. So we got rid of the horse trough, but we added urinals. And we said, how can we make this a remarkable experience? So our rival is the Macon Bacon. That's a real team name. So it's our rival. So we got Macon Bacon urinal cakes, and we put their logo on it, so every night our fans are pissing on our rival. You find those fun moments. You find those fun moments. See, Karen, you can do that, Karen. That's easy. That's easy. Just kidding, Karen. Karen, what do you do? There's something there, all right? There's something there. Just stay with me. I love that. All right, so as we continue to we're going off the rails, which I love this. All right, as we continue to entertain, think about mapping every moment. Every single moment that your customer has, what happens next? And then ask what happens next, then what happens next? Most people, a sporting event, they think the game is everything. I just shared everything before the ball game. Yes, during the games, do we have our players go in the crowd and deliver roses to little girls on a knee? Yes, do we have our players go on dates with little girls where we have our sexy saxophone player serenade them and play songs? Yes, do we create those special moments? But it's so much more than that. So at the end, after a client teams up with you, after your customer teams up with you, what is that last impression? The last impression leaves a lasting impression. The last impression leaves a lasting impression, and often it's neglected. For us, people leave a ballpark, you've probably been to an arena, a sporting event, you just walk out, right? Not many people saying thank you. They just walk out. You might get a thank you. Walmart greeters, great idea, but how many times has a Walmart greeter wowed you? Mostly it's like, like really? Think about that last impression. So what's your last impression there? For us, yes, we have our band, and we have our players doing autographs, and we have all that, but we realized that fans were leaving early before that sometimes because baseball games are still too long. So we had an idea. We were going to do s'mores. So we actually set up a whole s'more station with fire and everything. It was a terrible decision. All right, you shouldn't have open fire with kids. That's not a smart decision. So we switched it this past year to banana moon pies, and we just started giving away banana moon pies. They're not that delicious, but they're banana moon pies, and they're interesting. So they're not here, hopefully. All right, so we started passing those out, and those little touch points. And every night we pick one car, and we get a mobile car wash to wash their car while they're watching the game. And they come out, thank you for being with us, your car has been washed. It's those little touches. So what are those touches you think about your last impression? How many people here, something has gone wrong on a client experience or a customer experience? If you're not raising your hand, you're absolutely crazy. All right. It happens all the time. But do you have a script for that? What's the worst thing that happened in a baseball game? It's called rain, all right? Rain is the worst. But we developed a rain delay script that as soon as it rains, our players go to the front gate, they have their umbrellas to walk people to their car, we start doing Pass the Monkey and sing-offs and other promotions, and we try to put on an experience that people will never forget when it rains. When things go wrong is your best opportunity to create a fan. Because that's when you can turn everything around and wow them. Go the extra mile. One of our interns who was with us for just 2 weeks, her name is Laura. Her name is still Laura. We were walking people to their car, and I remember she had this old gentleman said, I'll take a walk, and she walked him, and she was gone for like 30 minutes. She comes back soaking wet, and I go, where were you? She goes, I walked him to his doorstep. I go, you walked him home? And she goes, fans first, right? And she knew that as an intern, 2 weeks with us. I love your enthusiasm. You're the best. You just want to clap. I love it. It's those little moments. So how do you teach that with your team? To entertain every step of the way. Even low conflict divorce, we still want to entertain people and make sure they feel like they matter. All right, you guys still with me? Yeah. All right, here we go. Third E. We're going to keep it rolling. Third E. Let's get some music for this. I'm going to throw some giveaways now. Let's go. All right, who wants some giveaways? Let me hear you. All right, who wants some? Here we go. You guys ready? Let me see you. Oh, yes. Here we go. Oh, your enthusiasm. Here we go. All right. There you go. Turn off, Derek. All right. Show off what you have. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, right here. Yes. Oh, that is amazing. And what's your name? Mitch, that is perfect. All right, what's your name? Derek? Eric. Mitch and Eric. Give a round of applause for them for rocking it. Yes, this is the official Dolce and Banana underwear. All right? Now, congratulations, you guys. we actually used to have two sizes. We had the small banana and we had the big banana. But the big banana outsold the small banana dramatically. So that's all we have. So congrats, guys. It could have been a lot worse. That's good. You should. We went there. Yes, we did. All right. The third E to creating these raving fans: experiment constantly. Experiment constantly. How are we inventing and creating new experiences for our fans on a regular basis? Jeff Bezos said our success is a direct function of how many experiments we do per year, per month, per week, per day. I think the biggest challenge is that we're so afraid to try new things that we're not experimenting enough. Yes. Thank you. Experimentation is everything. So where does it start? I think one of the big guidelines that we've kind of followed for many years now is whatever's normal, do the exact opposite. People do not get excited about normal. Normal will get normal results. So how do you experiment with something that's not normal? I learned this from Alan Fadden. He wrote the book Innovation on Demand. And how he sold his book, he decided, he's like, you know what I'm going to do? Well, how do you sell books normally? You sell them at Amazon or a bookstore with thousands of books. He said, I'm going to buy an entire retail space in Minneapolis, and I'm going to create a bookstore just for my one book, the one book bookstore. And he actually had his book in different sections, like self-help, business, history. He had it all over. Do you think he got attention? Yeah. You better believe it. He had a huge story in People magazine, CBS flew down, NBC, national features all over. Do you think he sold some books? Yeah. You better believe it. It was an experiment. It was an experiment. So when I did my book tour for Find Your Yellow Tux 3 or 4 years ago, I decided, let's do a world book tour. Sounds pretty normal, except I did it at Epcot. So I'm literally going from like Germany, then Mexico, then I'm just going 100 yards and taking pictures all around the Epcot until finally the security guard's eyeing me. He said, sir, come here. I go, yes. He goes, we're going to have to ask you to leave. I go, why? He goes, you're confusing our guests as one of our Disney characters, because I was in the yellow tuxedo. So I got kicked out. But hey, it turned into being a story. So you either have success or you have a story. We got the story. So what are those experiments that you can do with your business? How can you try them out? As I mentioned before, our first experiment was dancing players. Could that work? Because that experiment worked, then we went to having a breakdancing bass coach who does the moonwalk as he's coaching first and does single ladies. And we kept trying all these experiments. Some other ones didn't work. We said, what if we do different events at our stadium? So like we said, beer fest. What's normal? You have a beer fest. People come out, they have different beers, and they have a good time. We said, what if we did a beer fest starting at 9 a.m. and called it Tap in the Morning Beer Fest? Because you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. Thank you. Yeah, Wisconsin. Only 100 people showed up. It was a failure. It didn't work. It's okay. Those people had a great time. They had a great time. They had a lot of fun. But it was those experiments. Wrong state. We'll come to Wisconsin and we'll do it, all right? We'll have 1,000 people start. We'll start at 6 a.m. Who cares? Let's get it going earlier. All day. You start those experiments. And so what are those things that you can invent and create for your fans? And so everything is experiment. And so give you an example, when we said, all right, we want to take our show on the road. We want to do something different. And so we said, could we do a tour? But instead of going crazy in the beginning, we did the One City World Tour. All right? So we announced One City World Tour. We tested it, we experimented, and somehow we convinced 7,000 people to come to Mobile, Alabama and watch the Banana Show. From there, that pushed on us to do 7 cities and go 15 cities. And as I tell everyone, we're going to sell out Fenway Park in 5 years, and that's my goal, and we're going to do it, all right? But it starts with those experiments. So you have big experiments, and you have small experiments. Every night at our ballpark, our director of entertainment knows that we have to do 4 brand new things in front of a live audience that we've never done. And so that's scary in front of 4,000 people. So and a lot don't work, like the living piñata, where we actually put a person in a piñata costume and had kids hit him with a bat as he threw candy. Not a real bat, it was like a soft little bat. It was fine. All right? Or the horse head race, where we put everyone in horse heads, and there were 4 kids, and we had a race around the infield, except we didn't realize they couldn't see. So one ended up in right field, one ended up in the mound, one walked in the wall, and it was a 5-minute delay of the game. All right? But we do those little experiments. The invoice, as I mentioned before, was an experiment. The voicemail was an experiment. You have small experiments and you have big experiments. The big experiments, you start with a small bet. I haven't shared much, but we realized that we wanted to change baseball. It was too long, too slow, too boring. So we developed a brand new game, Banana Ball. And so we started testing it 3 years ago, behind closed doors, not around anybody, just around players, and said, how was it? We said, could we create a 2-hour time game? Could batters not step out at all? Could batters steal first? Should we eliminate bunting? Because bunting sucks. So we eliminated bunting, all right? Sorry, baseball guy, I know, we'll get to it later. Swing the bat, I'll get to that later. All right. Could we eliminate all this and try this? If fans caught a foul ball, could it be an out? And we started testing all this because that's fans first. We tested it. The players loved it. They played a game in 1 hour and 48 minutes. Then we tested again in front of a live audience. And now we've tested in front of 4,000 fans. It's an experiment. It started with eliminating friction. And now it's the game that we play, which is a different game. So that's where I challenge you is say, all right, with your staff, what can we do to create some more fans? Start with what we call is an idea palooza. Idea palooza. For us, everything, and I think every business, you need to focus on your IP. Not intellectual property, ideas and promotion. What ideas are you coming up with, and how are you promoting them? So every day I spend my time coming up with ideas. Crazy ones, players skydiving to their positions, putting a mechanical bull in the bullpen, a lot of doing bottle service to someone coming up to bat. We try a lot of crazy ideas. But how do you get with your staff and say, all right, what's something new that we can do on the first impression? When they first come to our website, what's something new we can do? Right after they buy, what's something that we could send them? What are these different ideas? And have an idea palooza. Every week we get together with our team and we talk ideas. Not brainstorming, they're themed. And that's how we develop our experiments. As soon as you stop doing new things for your customers are going to look elsewhere. All right? Unless you build that unbelievable relationship. Those new things, you have to continue to stay relevant. So experiment constantly. All right, we're going to keep rolling. You guys ready for the fourth E? Yeah. All right. This one's one of my favorite. Here we go. This is engage deeply. The fourth E, engage deeply. Andy Stanley said it best. Do for one what you wish you could do for many. Do for one. So we talk about entertaining always. You have your basis of how you're going to entertain, but then you've got to find those special moments to really create those raving fans. Some of the best advice I've ever received was from Darren Ross, the CEO of Magic Castle Hotel. He's featured in the book Peak Moments. We've become very close. He said he teaches his entire staff to listen carefully and respond creatively. So think about that for a second. Listen carefully, respond creatively. I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, our whole team, we teach that. When they're coming to our hotel, we ask questions. Why are they here? You know, what's exciting them about coming to Hollywood? And he remembers, he told me a story about this family that was coming there to see Marilyn Monroe. They said, we're here to see Marilyn Monroe at the Wax Museum. We're here to see her star. And so they went and left, and they went to see her star and her at the Wax Museum. And the receptionist left and got a poster. And they put a poster in their room when they get back of Marilyn Monroe, and it said, thanks for coming to see me. Love, Marilyn. To me, that's the creepiest thing I've ever heard of. But they were wowed. They were blown away because of that simple listen carefully, respond creatively. So our team has embodied this. We try to pay attention. When people say what matters to them, we put a note and say, how can we wow them later? During COVID, when COVID was really strong, people were staying at home, and one of our members wrote on Facebook, I would do anything for Oreo cookies and milk. So our ticket experience coordinator went to the grocery store, got Oreo cookies and milk, put them in the mailbox and said, check your mailbox. Thank goodness she was there and checked, because that milk would have been nasty if it stayed longer. But it wowed her. The same moment, someone said they just got engaged and they were so excited to come to the Bananas game to celebrate that night. Our marketing officer saw that post, and literally she went to the florist. I know there's a florist in here. Went to a florist and grabbed flowers. And that game, we saw what they were wearing earlier in the day. We searched the whole crowd for 4,000, and finally we saw her, Jessica. And all of a sudden, our host went up, delivered flowers, and said, congratulations, fans. This Jessica and John just got engaged today. Round of applause for them. And the whole crowd went nuts. And she was like, how did you know that? Listen carefully, respond creatively. Now, that's easy. There's obviously a basis to doing that with your customers and your fans. But you know where it starts? With your people, with your team. And I know we have... Thank you. Great. Yes, I love that. Thank you. I know we have solopreneurs here, but I know we also have people with small teams. Solopreneurs, you need help. Who are those people helping you? That's your team. So how do you care for them more? How do you know what your team loves so you can deliver the experience to them? If you want your team to deliver a great experience to your customers, you've got to deliver a great experience to them. It's that simple. So how do you know what matters? And I didn't know until 2 years ago, our Fans First director said, Jesse, what if we do the love languages with our team? And I go, oh, all right, that sounds fun. And what is that? And she's like, well, it's physical touch, it's gifts, it's quality time, help me out, words of affirmation, and acts of service. So we did it with our team. Have any of you guys done this with your team at all? All right? It was eye-opening. We found with our team, number one, and we have all young team, all millennials, number one, what do you guys think it was? The love language. Words of affirmation, 1,000%. Our president, in fact, was the top of the scale on words of affirmation, but he was bottom on physical touch. He said, tell me you love me, but don't you ever touch me. My wife, Emily, which I knew, was acts of service. So what I did, as soon as she did the test, I went and did exactly what I shouldn't have done. I bought a custom axe on Amazon, and I had service inscribed in it. And I gave it to her. I go, here's your acts of service. She was not that amused. We're still together, don't worry. We're off the airbed. But we started realizing words of affirmation. Our director of operations said his favorite moment in the entire year was when I touched his shoulder after a concert. I said, man, I'm so proud of you. You killed it tonight. He said that was his favorite moment of the entire year. It was just words. So how do you create those moments? Danny, our vice president, we knew that mattered to him more than anything was Cleveland Indians. This was 5 years ago. He's a Cleveland sports fan, which is what it is. But he was a Cleveland Indians fan, and him and his dad had one bond. It was the Cleveland Indians game. When he was a kid, he watched the '97 World Series on TV, and every game, he was so excited about every game with his dad. So Emily turned to me and said, Jesse, we got to do something special. So when the Indians made the World Series to play the Cubs, she decided we're going to do something pretty special. So all of a sudden, we brought the whole staff together and said, Danny, you made such an impact this past season. We had a toy airplane that we gave to him. We said, it represents how far you've gone, how far you're going, and how you've taken everyone with you. He single-handedly raised almost $70,000 for nonprofits. He was amazing. So I gave him this toy airplane, and he goes, thanks, man. Like, it's a toy airplane. I go, oh, yeah, sorry, Danny, one more thing. We're flying you to game 1 of the World Series tomorrow. You're going with your dad. All right. And he goes, shut up. And I was like, really? He goes, shut up, no way. We called his dad. His dad started crying. His dad had never been to a playoff game of the Indians. They were the first people in line. I kid you not. They were the first people in line 4 hours before the game waiting to get in. Did that cost money? You better believe it. Was it worth it? Yeah. Normal to remarkable to unforgettable. Was that unforgettable? Yeah. You better believe it. A simple moment like that. And there's smaller moments. We have a gentleman with us named Reginald who has a mental disability, but he's the hardest worker, the best smile. He's amazing. Every day he goes through the ballpark like this, just smiling. And he does everything. And every day he goes, it's a great day for a ball game, great day for a ball game. It can be pouring rain. And he goes, great day for a ball game. He's the best attitude ever. 2 years ago, he goes, Jesse, I just want you to know my birthday's on a game day. I go, cool, Reginald, that's awesome. He goes, I just want to let you know. I go, okay, thanks, Reginald, thanks. He proceeded to tell everyone on the staff that his birthday was a game day for 3 weeks. Everyone knew. So his birthday came. We're having our pep rally with our whole staff before the game. And all of a sudden, I'm taking Reginald around the corner, and everyone starts singing happy birthday. He goes, for me? Of course, Reginald, it's for you. You told everybody. So like anyone, we had a cake, we had balloons, and I said one more thing. And it's a great lesson from Steve Jobs. He always had one more thing at the end of every presentation. So I said, one more thing, Reginald. Just come to the dugout before the game. He goes, yeah, sure. We need some help. Yeah, we'll need some help. So we start doing our starting lineup right before the game. 4,000 fans, the band on the dugout, the whole entire stadium standing. Batting first from University of Clemson, so-and-so. Batting second from Georgia. Batting third. They all come down, running down the line. And we say, fans, after the last hitter, last but not least, you know him, you love him. Let's hear it for Reginald. He goes like this. And then he proceeds to high-five everyone through the line. He gets to the end of the line, and our head coach is there waiting for him with a jersey with his name on it. Yeah. He handed them the jersey. He put it on, and I watched. He stood there with the team for the national anthem, and you could see one tear coming down his face. At the end of the game, he said this was the best day of his life. All right? I shared that. It was a simple birthday, but those moments matter. If you want to create fans, we can do all the wild things, the crazy things. Sometimes it's just letting people know that you care about them. Nothing matters more than making people feel like they matter. Yes. All right? That's the starting point. All right. You guys ready for the final E? We're going to keep it rolling. All right, I got a little serious there. We're going to pick it up. So now I need 4 volunteers. We're going to come on up here. 4 volunteers. Now, you already went. I need at least 1 or 2 guys. Come on up here. 2 girls, 2 guys. Here we go. Come on up here. What's your name? Angela, you've been awesome, by the way. I love your energy. Yes. Oh, Lynn, you're back. Of course you are. All right, I love it. All right. Your name? Patty, I need 1 more. Awesome. All right. Sam. All right. Let's hear it for Patty, Lynn, Angela, and Sam. Let's hear it for these guys. All right. This is a promotion we like to call Dancing in the Dark. Here you go. You guys didn't know what? You can come over here, Sam, a little bit. Lynn, come over here. All right. Patty, here's how it's going to work. You just dance really weird in your area. When I touch your shoulder, you're going to walk off the stage, okay? We're going to get down to our final 2 dancers, and it's going to be a full dance-off. Patty, if I touch your shoulder, you walk off. Lynn, if I touch your shoulder, you walk off. Same thing. Angela, touch your shoulder, you walk off. I'm sorry.
It's like Angel with an A at the end. It's really
I love your sass. This is great. All right. Here we go. All right. So this is about, we're going to get crazy. We're going to get different. We're going to have some fun. Okay? Let's give them a round of applause. Give them some encouragement. All right. Hey, the weirder you dance, the better. Just let it loose. Let it loose. Dance fun. Dance crazy. All right? Let's play some music. Here we go. Let's get into it. Oh, Angela's bringing it. Oh. There, step on stage, step on stage, step on stage, take your blindfold off, step on the stage. Here we go. Oh, Lynn's doing something weird. Patty, I like it. All right, step on the stage, here we go. All right, it is Lynn versus Angela. Keep dancing, you gotta dance harder. Lynn versus Angela. Lynn versus Angela. Wow, Lynn versus Lynn. Step off the stage, step off the stage, step off the stage. Take your blindfold off, it's Lynn versus Angela. Lynn versus Angela. Lynn, you gotta go crazy. You gotta go crazy. Here we go. You gotta go crazy, Lynn. It's you versus Angela. Come on, Lynn, what do you got? Lynn, all right, take your blindfold off, Lynn. You were dancing completely by yourself. Let's hear it for Lynn. All right, hey, Lynn, stay here. Stay right here. Wow, what was this? Lynn, where are you from? West Bend? All right. Well, first I got this little thing for you. This is an airplane that shows how far you're going to go in the next year because you're willing to get crazy, get uncomfortable, and make things happen, all right? Stay here. One more thing. This is the Bananas Gold ticket. We're flying you and anyone you want to go with to either go to Savannah or go on our world tour. We're taking care of everything, accommodations, a flight, a game. Enjoy. All right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's hear it for Lynn. Wow. Lynn, you've been bringing it all day, my friend. You've been bringing it all day. All right. The last E, empower action. Empower action. Stop standing still, start standing out. Empower action. If you want to really create these fans and transform your business, we got to take action. We got to make things happen. We got to get a little crazy. We had all these ideas: eliminate friction, entertain always, experiment constantly, engage deeply. But how are we going to take action? As I shared before, my biggest mentor has always been Walt Disney and P.T. Barnum. They've really inspired me more than you know. But my biggest one, my biggest role model, my hero, is my dad. And my dad, my parents got divorced when I was a kid, and it was just me and my dad, and he used to always encourage me every day. And I remember when I was 5 years old and I started playing baseball, I was playing t-ball, and I'd come up to the plate and my dad would go, Jess, swing hard in case you hit it. And every time I came up to bat, he would say, Jess, swing hard in case you hit it. And I would swing as hard as I can. And believe me, I swung and missed a lot. But when I made contact, I made pretty good contact. And I was so fortunate from swinging hard as a little kid. I would have to be bat boy for the Red Sox because I grew up in Boston. I got to pitch at Fenway. And as I shared before, that big goal to take my dad on the field in 5 years at Fenway Park and look around and say, we sold this out, Dad. Look what we did. And I'm still that kid trying to make my dad proud. But the reality is, he empowered me as a kid to swing hard, to take chances. So today, I'm thinking, how can I empower you and your team to start doing things, start getting a little crazy, start getting a little different, start creating fans? Now, some people know baseball here, but I'll give you a little baseball stat. Do you know who has the most hits of anyone that ever played Major League Baseball? Anybody know? Who? Pete Rose. Wow, very good. Killing it. Pete Rose. He had over 4,000 hits, but he also had over 14,000 at-bats. He came to bat more than anyone else. He had 2,000 more at-bats than anyone that ever played the game. Of course he had more hits. You got to keep coming to bat. Do you know who failed the most in Major League history? Anybody? That's good. Everyone goes there. He struck out. Who struck out more than anyone else that ever played the game? No? Only one person has ever got this answer right. Rod Crew, good guess. And it's not because, the reason why is because we don't know him for his strikeouts. We know him for 3 home runs in Game 6 of the 1977 World Series. We know him as Mr. October. He's a Hall of Famer, Reggie Jackson. We don't remember the strikeouts. We don't remember the times we come up and fail. We remember the hits. How many people are talking about the Amazon Fire phone? It was a $200 million failure, the Fire phone. But that technology helped build Alexa. We all talk about Alexa. So how do you keep coming to bat? How do you keep swinging? How do you empower yourself and empower your team to start making a difference? I'll share one final story here about empowering an intern. He was with us this is now a month into the year. We're calling people and thanking him. His name's Barry. We're calling our fans and thanking them for tickets. He called this one family that bought 8 tickets, and he couldn't get in touch with them. And now 8 tickets back that first year was a lot of tickets for us. So he said he tried to call back again. And finally he called back, and the father answered the phone and said, "I'm so sorry. My wife bought these tickets for our 7 kids, and she just tragically died." And Barry came to me and said, "Jesse, what do I do?" And I turned to him and I said, "Barry, what do you think?" He goes, "I want to do something fans first." And I go, "I trust you. Whatever you think is fans first, you do it, you make it happen." And so Barry called the gentleman back and said, "Hey, we'd really love to have you guys out. We'll create an experience that they won't forget." And the dad said, "You know what? It'd be good to get the kids out of the house." So Barry gave him his cell phone to eliminate friction so he could call him as soon as he showed up. As soon as the dad showed up with 7 kids, Barry walked them in, brought them to the front row of seats before the game. And before the game, brought the entire team, all the players, our coaches, and sat with the guys, sat with the kids, signed autographs, signed bats, and sat for over 30 minutes with all the kids. And then right at the end before the game, Barry walked over to the dad and gave him a jersey with the wife's name and the number of years that they were married. All right? Now, I know we get a little emotional, but here's how I'm going to finish this. The family stayed for the entire game, which never happens in a baseball game, all right? They stayed till the end. And the father comes up to Barry and said, "You know what? That was the last gift the mother ever gave the kids. I couldn't imagine a better gift." All right? Fast forward 5 years, that family has become fans for life. Barry has become our vice president, and they're coming out regularly every single night, and Barry's climbed with us tremendously. All right? That's what's happened. He eliminated friction. He entertained every step of the way. He engaged deeply with the special gifts. He did experiments, things he's never done before. And he felt empowered as a 22-year-old intern to do that. That is the difference. You may think like, hey, I'm crazy and big. We go crazy big ideas. Yes, we do. But sometimes you can just do something small to show people they matter. In 2016, my life changed when I started the Thank You Experiment. I said I'm going to write one thank you letter every single day to people that made an impact in my life. Teachers, coaches, authors, friends, colleagues. I bought 500 yellow custom cards, and I started writing. And it did. It changed my life. I started every day with gratitude. I reached out to people that made a huge impact, like Simon Sinek. And I remember I sent a letter to Simon Sinek. Man, your start with why has empowered me, fired me up more than you know. And I remember I'm driving to lunch one day, this is 5 years ago, and I see an unknown phone number. And this is back when you answered unknown phone numbers. So I answered the call, and I said, "Hello, this is Jesse." "Jesse, it's Simon Sinek here." I go, "Shut up, who is it?" He goes, "It's Simon Sinek." I go, "No way, who's messing with me?" He goes, "No, I'm calling you to let you know how much your letter inspired me." He goes, my mission is to help people live inspired lives, and you inspired me. And so for 1 minute and 41 seconds, I talked to Simon Sinek, and he fired me up, all right? Who can you thank today? Who can you thank tomorrow? Who can you maybe take your phone out of your pocket and instead of sending a text, do a video and say, "You know what? I'm just thinking about you and how much of an impact you've made on my life." And send that video. Those make the difference. The brilliant philosopher, Will Ferrell, once said, "Keep throwing darts at the dartboard. You'll eventually hit the bullseye." We have to start throwing darts. We have to start taking chances. For the 4 people who joined us on stage, stand up. 4 people that joined us on stage, all right? Let's give them a round of applause. And the next year, you're going to take those chances. You're going to make the impact and watch, and we'll see a year from now what those 4 individuals did. A lot of us guys, people here on a Saturday, they might be staying home watching football. You guys are here. How do you take this to the next level and start doing things, start creating fans? All right? It's time we stop standing still and start standing out. It's time we go make a difference. All right? So I challenge you to stand out, be different, have fun, go create some fans. As Walt Disney said, all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Wow.
Jesse Cole, everybody. Come on, let's go, Jesse Cole. Okay. If you had throwing underwear from the stage on your bingo card, congratulations, you won, because I didn't know that was going to happen today. Unbelievable. Wow. All right. So during the presentation, I'm texting with Jeff McCarthy from Bank 59. We're like, Jeff said something along the lines of, he's just as amazing as we thought he was going to be. I'm like, you're damn right. That was unbelievable. Jesse, again, thank you very much. We appreciate it.